Hello, this is Adrian from my channel Random Drop. Hi, I haven't done a video in quite a bit now. I've just been playing other games, playing Final Fantasy XIV weekly now, doing my raids. We are on E12S in terms of my raid group, but just kind of doing a video on 5.5. Last time I did a reactions, and I recorded this one, but I really didn't. There's like one pop-off moment. Spoilers, hey, I'm gonna spoil 5.5 and talk about all of it. If you don't want to hear anything about it, back out now. But 5.5, right? Like I recorded my reactions, and it was just general, like, yeah, okay, yeah, things are going, and I enjoyed my time with it. Of course, it was building up to something bigger, and that's what we're waiting on, and we're waiting. We're gonna have to wait these 4 fucking weeks till the next patch. But the biggest pop-off or laugh was the LSA and Estinian interactions. That shit was hilarious. These people are so good at comedy, and they get these characters so well. It's incredible to see. In terms of the rest of the story, the main story quests, yeah, and just exploring Law again, which I thought was a little weird, but we're there for a good reason. But it's just like, we were just fucking here, weren't we? Like, this is a very important place. We probably should be here more often. And every now and then they're just kind of remember, like, oh hey, Law, remember that place? But yeah, it was a neat ride. Estinian, a lot of Estinian and Alpha No stuff, and death flags for our involved, and I think Fordolo probably end up dying in the end. She's like probably the one we'll end up losing, because I'm gonna be quite honest, they did not give her like new armor or anything like that. She's kind of wearing like basic bitch ass armor, which means that they're not gonna like spruce her up unless she, like at the beginning of Endwalker she gets like a whole new set or something like that. But what that means to me is that like they're not putting any work into her. Like she's kind of gonna go away somewhere, or maybe she'll be sidelined. But I really think Fordolo hey, she's done a lot of fucked up shit. She may try to redeem herself by doing something crazy. But yeah, I enjoyed the story. It was just waiting on that next part, man. Like really, expectations for Endwalker are so high. Nowhere near, like when we ended Shadowbringer, not Shadowbringer, Stormblood, and we were moving into Shadowbringers, everyone was kind of like, okay, that was like a weird nothing ending, right? All the previous expansions had like this great climactic ending, the Shinryu and the Banquet, and this one we just had like that weird fight with Xenos, but it wasn't Xenos, it was Elidibus. So it was like, okay. And then you basically get knocked out and told, hey, we'll handle this. Just go do something else for a while. And which we did. But yeah, I mean, we had kind of, we were not hyped for it, or like people were hyped, but it was just like the story felt kind of confusing, right? It was no like, it was not the feeling of, hey, we just got exiled from our main cities. We're in hiding. We have to go to Ishgard, right? Like that's a big like push into it, especially like, oh shit. Wow, like in Heaven's Word, right? Hey, we just started a fucking war with these primals. We're getting ready for war. Let's go, right? And then Shadowbringers is very much like, or going into Shadowbringers is very much like, we got this Stormblood stuff handled. You should, I don't know, you should go do something else. And I guess we'll get our friends back or something. We really don't know how, but we'll figure it out. Which I think with this time around, they'll probably learn their lesson from that and build something up, and something big's gonna happen. It has to. Just gotta wait these 4 weeks, and then we'll fucking know, I guess. Other than that, the Diamond Weapon, incredible. Gaius is a really good character, and things with his kids, and him just watching them die one by one, and it just really makes me wish this stuff was voice acted. And I understand for budget constraints, they can't voice act everything. But they've gotten so good at these side stories that it really makes me want voice acting. Especially a character like Gaius, who's just fucking tormented this whole time through all of Shadowbringers, through all of his story. It's fucking brutal, and the ending is bittersweet, but I'm glad it did not end in a super bummer, with Allie just being completely fucking paralyzed or, in shock forever. I'm glad they at least resolved that before the end, because I thought they might actually not and just kind of move on, and maybe Allie will show up in the future, but I'm glad they wrapped it out, right? We got a fucking theme. The story is over. Maybe Allie and Gaius will show up in a side story or in part of the main story at some point. But yeah, it's cool to see like a wrap up on Gaius. And then Nier is the next part, right? Got a group of friends. They've run it like twice now. The raid, as a Nier fan, is just a bunch of overflowing fan service. It's a huge meal of just like, nom 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 nom, like, oh, like Queen Beast, all this stuff, all these references, all Drakengard, blah 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 blah. Like it's incredible. I can imagine if you're not a Nier fan in any way, or Drakengard fan, you're just kind of like, all right, like this art is cool and this music is really good, right? Like imagine you can see that, but you're kind of wondering like, hey, did we really need to give up a Final Fantasy XIV tier for this collab, right? Yeah, and some of the mechanics in that last raid are like really boring, especially the first boss. He is a whole bag of nothing, and then they reuse his mechanics on one of the trash mobs, so it's just like It's really confusing. I get that it's an awesome reference, but I feel like they could have probably done more with that boss. And then as for the story of the Nier stuff, it is, again, it's just kind of overflowing fan service. You barely interact with 2B or 9S. It's just, again, just kind of a meal of like references and things like that. And the actual story of the dwarves is, it's hard to get connected to, and it's a bit of a bummer as you go through it, right? But kind of ends in a bummer too. But right now the story's still going, and like these weekly quests, like they're doing some weird shit with it. I'm here for them to try new things, especially Yoko Taro being the weird motherfucker he is. He's gonna try some weird things with our weeklies. Hopefully it's something turns out good of this, right? I can't imagine it's gonna be like a super huge thing. Maybe we'll get like more story in these little logs every week or something, but yeah, I hope he like just fucking surprises us completely, but I really doubt it. Other than that, I've completed my ultimate weapon twice now. I got a Dark Knight one and a Black Mage one. I went really hard on the first one. On the second one, it's just Delubrum, man. And Delubrum takes so much fucking time. It's like an hour a run if you have a bad group, which a lot of groups are bad groups. And as much damage as I am doing and buffing them, I can't carry the group. So runs can range from 30 minutes to a fucking hour, and it's a pain. So yeah, I would probably like run it maybe once a day or once every other day, maybe even once a week sometimes, just to like slowly progress on my Black Mage weapon. Once I got to 10, I pushed through and like finished it off. It is like, compared to other weapon steps, it's very easy. It is grindy, but I mean, compared to like fucking light farming and all that crazy bullshit, like yeah, sure, why not? I just wish there was more options in terms of getting those fragments, the 15 ones you need at the very end, other than Delubrum, or maybe Delubrum has the chance of dropping multiple in a run rather than it just being one every single time. Because Heaven and High groups, or not Heaven and High, Palace of the Dead groups are hard to find. Especially if you want to go floors 100 plus, which the drop rate increases significantly there. So I did a run of 50 through 100 and got 0 of them, right? And it was just a waste of time. I could have done a Delubrum run and gotten 1 for sure, right? So yeah, that's where I'm with that. I hope they nerf it a little bit or give more options to get weapon pieces. I'm guessing people are just they're just scared people won't run Delubrum if there's no like weapon quest tied to it. It's probably true, so they need to figure out a better system, because, man, that fucking thing 15 times is a bit much. 5 times? Okay, right? Now we're talking. Like, hey, okay, that's a little bit more sensible. But fucking 15? Other than Final Fantasy XIV, I've been playing Outriders. That game is totally fine. Of course, it is buggy as shit, and I would probably just wait for it to, wait like 3 or 4 months when it's like on sale on Steam for like $20 or something, and grab some friends and play it. It's like totally a fine shooter. If you have Xbox Game Pass, play it on Xbox. I would not really pay full price for it. It's definitely not a game like, you'll definitely get your playtime out of it, right? It's just, the quality is not exactly all the way there. I feel like it still feels like kind of a cheap game. It feels like a $40 game that they're selling at $60. But the combat is so good, and the loot systems are actually smart and well done, right? But there's just something about it, right? It does not fully feel like a $60 game. But I am glad it's not like a live game and they have all the DLCs planned and all any of that shit. I'm not trying to be a Destiny. They just made a game with some good loot and combat systems. Now they just need to fix it up and patch it a bit. And I've been streaming the stuff, my E12S prog, my playing other random bullshit I play on twitch.tv/rando_0268. I am an affiliate now, weirdly enough. That's pretty cool. Been trying to do that for a bit now. One thing, I did get bot spammed one day while I was streaming Bravely Default, so I had like 8,000 followers for no reason. Well, now it looks like Twitch is finally like starting to clean those out. So I lost like 5,000 of those, thank God, because yeah, it really inflated those numbers. It was really stupid, but I'm glad that's over with. But yeah, just hey, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, like, hey, what do you think of patch 5.5 so far? What are you expecting to happen in the next patch? How did you feel about the Nier raids, the diamond weapon story and all of that, and the main story quest? And what are you excited about, right? I've been playing a lot of Black Mage lately, and just, goddamn, that class is so well made, and no wonder fucking Yoshi P plays it. It is just so well designed that they got that class fantasy fucking nailed. You are an artillery cannon, just like in Final Fantasy XI, and the feel of it feels just so goddamn good, and the skill ceiling is so high because of how stationary you are, and you have to know the fights to a T to know when you use your triple cast and your free cast. It's fucking Black Mage 10 out of 10, man. Like, I could make a video of just comparing Black Mage to all those shitty casters in WoW with their fucking terrible rotations, and show them Black Mage and be like, this is how you're a caster. This is a fire mage. Holy shit. But I digress. I don't want to overpromise anything, but again, like, comment, subscribe. My name is Adrian from my channel Random Drop, and I'll see you next time.